G'day and welcome back to the channel, Headlight Restoration Perth. It's been a minute since I've actually posted. I've been doing a bit of truck driving and whatnot, so haven't had the opportunity to get into this too much. I did start this as a side gig, just to show the kids that that it doesn't matter what happens, you can always find something to make a couple of bucks. And with all your help, from over the last 6 months, like I've getting pretty well, let's just say a lot better than what I was when I started. More proficient at the whole process. So it doesn't matter where you start, it's all about the journey and how good you get by the end. So even if you don't know how to do it, have a crack. There's enough videos out there on YouTube. You got mine, you got multiple other sources of information there, and you will pick your little go-to. Like I don't mind using the drill and the sandpaper and all this sort of stuff, and I also like I actually don't mind doing it by hand as well. So it's a whole different feel, different process, but the end result is what matters. So if you don't have a drill and you don't have the money, like I didn't at the beginning, just do it by hand, because it might take a little bit longer, but you can still achieve that nice finish. Not so much with the buffing and all that, because that was a game changer for me. Like when I got that little pistol grip buffer, that definitely brought in a lot more clarity than I could ever achieve by hand. So that was definitely worth every penny I spent on it. So and as you can see there, I'm doing it by hand. I like doing the edges, a lot of the edges by hand, because you just get that, get a better feel for it. Plus, you don't have that error of getting that bite on the gun and ripping straight up there. So as close as you do get with the drill and whatnot, it's always nice just to get that little finesse going with the hand to finish off. But by doing the wet and dry process, it really is a lot smoother going from grit to grit. So I do that up to that 500, 600 sort of grit, and then I'll use the wet and dry process again at the very end. So these Mazdas, they're not too bad to work on. They're not like a super hard lens or anything like that. So, as bad as they may look, they can be done a lot easier than some makes and models. I've been doing a few VWs, the Volkswagen and that, but same with some of the Mercedes. They're just a whole different lens component. The clear is different. When I very first come across one, I thought, man, is this 2K or what? Because it was this unforgiving. You just had to really power through it, and always had to go down to the 240 to get a good bite on it and everything. But with these ones, especially the Mazda, the Japanese ones, like the Hondas and all that, like Toyotas, they're pretty friendly and soft to work with. So if you can get a handful of them to get your experience, you'll definitely appreciate it. But if you get stuck doing the hard ones at first, it's definitely a learning curve, and when you do get to one of the softer ones, you really do appreciate it. And what might take you 2 hours or whatever with those harder ones, and when you're finished in half the time and you do just as good a job when the softer ones, it's like, wow, give me a couple more of them. But yeah, always always persevere, just keep on doing what you do, learn new tactics, try different things, like where I am in Perth in Western Australia, like we're in summer now, and it's just not friendly working in the heat and all that, because when I started this it was nice cool weather and everything. So yeah, you really got to look at the conditions where you're working, because you don't want to be always out in the bare heat. You want to be in the shade. It just helps, especially when you're doing the wet and dry process, because otherwise everything just dries out so much quicker. There's lots of little idiosyncrasies that come into play. So when you do get into your summers, make sure you may invest in a shade, an umbrella, whatever it is, but or even if you're able to perform it in a shaded area, that's it really does help. And when it does dry here, like that's a benefit, because it dries everything, like I'm talking the ground is dry, it's sandy, and if the wind's there, so it's just a whole different component to when you're doing it in the cooler weather and in the winter months, because the rain settles the dirt and everything, so you don't really have to worry about dust flying around in the air. But where we are, if you're not in a good spot and you're doing out in the open, there's a lot of debris flying around in the air that you don't even notice. And when you put that final clear on, you notice it then, because you just don't get that same finish. So proper preparation promotes perfect presentation, so keep that in mind. Like, it might take a little bit longer to prep your whole work site and everything, but if you can get in a shaded area, if you have to dampen the dusty soil or these things, you don't think about it when you're doing it, but they make a huge difference. So this is what I've found anyway. Like, if you've done any work in the dry summer heat, and you've found things that you've had to do to get a good result, like, make a comment, because if there's anything I can learn from you, I'm open to it, because you just you don't know what people do differently, and but every little bit helps. And what you started out to being thinking that's going to be your process never ends up being the way. Like I've watched a lot of videos, a lot of hours, and I've changed not really changed, I've developed my process over the last 6 months, and I reckon I'm 90% there. I reckon there's still a couple of tips and tricks that I'm yet to read in the comments that I might adopt for different situations. But at the moment, I'm really liking the dry sand, the wet sand up to that 600 grit. I then continue on, and where necessary, you even go to that 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 before you hit that 3,000 Trizac pad, and just that extra bit of prep time, and it really does make a lot of difference. So it's not necessary with all of them. Sometimes you might get that softer light where you can go from the 800 to the 3,000 Trizac and get a great result, but with some of these harder lenses that you might come across, or ones that have had a bit more damage, and you've had to really start on a low grit, you really do those 2,000 and 2,500 grits, because the end result is what it's all about. So it's a waste of time spending all that time at the beginning to forget just 1 or 2 extra grit sizes to get that finish that you really wanted. Because you might cut a little short, you might get to the 1,500 and then go to the 3,000 and not be completely happy with the result, where you can end up going to the 2,000, 2,500 before that 3,000 grit Trizac and the buffings, because I'm still using the Maguire's Keep Clear, and with that product you really have to get that lens as good as you can and as well presented before you put that on, so I am doing all the polishing and buffing and everything like that, just to get it to as close to perfect as I can before I drop that clear on it. There's a lot of guys out there that use a clear UV clear protection that you might only have to go to the 1,000 grit, and then it might look dull, and then you spray it and everything looks honky-dory, So I'm yet to find that product. I think over here the products can be pretty limited, and there is a few products, but I haven't had the opportunity to try them all. But if you're do this and you're from Australia and you don't use the Maguire's Keep Clear, and you maybe just go up to an 800 and then spray that clear on it, and it brings it up to that same finish, if you don't mind sharing, I'd love to know what that product is that you've found results for. I'll even go have a look at your channel and have a look at your videos, and if there's anything I can learn from you, that would be fantastic. But at this present time, like I like to just be sure that what I'm getting done at the moment, because these are customers' cars and I can't afford to make errors and then do it all over again. So I do have a couple of test lights that I can do. So as you can see there, I've done the Trizac. I've cleared it off with the with that window cleaner. Now I'm doing the polishing. I'm just using the Maguire's plastics. It's not that I think it's the best, it's just what the product that I've got good stock of, and it's not doing terrible things. So, and I keep on dabbing it like this until it basically fully gets absorbed into the lens. When I first started doing it, there was still a really good film everywhere, so it did take that extra minute to buff in, but I just took that extra time dabbing it in, and after a certain period of time, it just seems to absorb and go clear a lot better. And then when I'm finishing up, I'll just use that air gun, so it just pushes that dust off straight away. So it's ready for that clear coat, So I'm trying a few different pads. I have tried the orange, the blue, the white, all different compounds obviously, but get it to the best I can before you apply that Keep Clear, the Maguire's, a couple of different directions for full coverage, and then with the end result, far better than it was when it started, and that is the name of the game. So if you get anything out of this, like, subscribe, and I'll see if I can produce a few more in the near future. All right, have a great day.